Okay, so let's look at the same two scenarios again with regard to mistakes. These mistakes are things that let's just explore them a little bit deeper here. So let's go to speeding on the motorway. It could well be as a result of a violation. That's when it mostly happens. However, some people drive too fast on the motorway uh, as a result of a mistake. And that could be as a result of a knowledge based mistake. Of course, that would mean they just didn't know what the speed limit was. Some people are out there, they just don't know what the speed limit is. Some people know it's 70 miles an hour, but they think it's a minimum. It's difficult to understand. People think that that's the minimum speed that they should be driving on a motorway, not the maximum speed, of course. They may well have come from a different country or been used to driving a certain way in a different country. They may well not even know that it's miles an hour, not kilometres an hour. Unlikely as it may sound, there are people out there that they're blissfully unaware there's a speed limit even on the motorway. And of course, in some countries around the world, there are sections of the highway or the autobahn or the motorway where there isn't a speed limit at all. So perhaps that helps us understand how sometimes when people drive too fast on a motorway, it could well be as a result of a knowledge-based mistake. It could also be as a rule-based mistake. We drive on a stretch of motorway and it's been 70 miles an hour for every time that or mostly when we've driven that motorway, the speed limit is 70 miles an hour. We know this. It's just fact. We just know this. Then all of a sudden, something might change. There might be some road works, or there might be some adaptation to the road, and the speed limit on that section of the road or highway has been changed, but it hasn't been communicated thoroughly enough. It hasn't been publicised. The sign's not big enough, or people just they don't know the rule has been changed. So when they get caught speeding or when they're driving, that's a rule-based mistake. When they're driving too fast, that's a rule-based mistake. It's slightly different to a knowledge-based mistake. So those are the different two types of mistakes here. Of course, when road traffic accidents occur, there'll be lots of people not concentrating, making slips or lapses, even more people violating, no doubt. And all those different types of human failure line up and we get some sort of road traffic accident. And yep, all too easy to blame it on the individual again. We need to look at why they don't understand the rule or procedure. Why have they not been taught it? Or why is it not being communicated properly if we need to identify or we need to minimise our rule-based or knowledge-based mistakes, of course. And yep, same slides again. You're getting used to this now. This is purposeful. The more you get used to these slides, the more comfortable you'll be in actually using the slides yourself in your own presentations. So same different scenario. We're still talking about mistakes now. The food safety issue. Somebody tampers with a label on some food, or puts the food back in a refrigerator, even though they know it's out of date. We've looked at how that could be a violation. They would do that on purpose. It could, of course, be a knowledge-based mistake. They've perhaps not even had the training that food goes out of date on that date. They might think the date means something else, a best by date or a use by date, rather than a sort of the food is out of date and it's dangerous to use after that date. They just haven't had the right training. Or they don't know what to do with the food. Rather than throw it away, they put it back in the fridge. Hopefully somebody else will know what to do next time. Or it might be a rule-based mistake. These rules in food safety change all the time. So it could well be that somebody's changed a rule of procedure for that particular product, and we might think it lasts for 5 days, but actually now it only lasts for 2 or 3 days, let's say. That's as a result of poor communication. Slightly different to a knowledge-based mistake. The rule's been changed, and the organisation or the authority has not communicated it properly enough. Or effectively, let's say. Of course, it could well be that people have forgotten or they've done it on purpose with regard to this product or food, and all those human failures may well line up to cause some sort of issue. When people make a mistake, rule-based or knowledge-based mistake, we need to explore why that is. What's wrong with our organisation? How could we have communicated it better? How can we train people better? That's the best way to or one of the best ways to minimise our rule-based or knowledge-based mistakes. Of course, if we involve people, if we engage people better, we ask them how we can support them better, by using servant leadership or engagement. That's a great way as well to ensure that people properly understand when a rule or procedure is changed, or they properly understand what they should do in a given scenario. So again, thanks for listening again. That's mistakes, two different types of mistakes: rule-based and knowledge-based. Relatively easy to fix as long as we get our training and communication systems right in an organisation. We employ engagement to good effect as well. We involve people. When a rule or procedure is about to change, we consult people. We involve people in that change. We ask their advice on whether it's a good idea or not. At the very least, then they will know that the rule or procedure is about to change. It's a great way of involving people and ensuring that people are effectively communicated with when a rule or procedure is likely to change. Thank you for listening again. We'll be looking at slips and lapses next.